Hey guys, I'm Amber. Love comes in all shapes and sizes. Some forms are just a bit less conventional than others. Here are the top 10 strangest couples in the world. Number 10, Kelly and Kelly Hildebrandt. You are hearing that correctly. Kelly and Kelly Hildebrandt just so happen to have the same exact name, even down to the spelling. Mrs. Kelly Hildebrandt of Coral Springs, Florida, claims that on one boring afternoon in February 2008, she decided to search her own name on Facebook. Lo and behold, she discovered a man of the same name living in Lubbock, Texas. So she decided to message him about the name similarity. One thing led to another, and they were chatting and flirting for weeks until Mr. Kelly Hildebrandt hopped on a plane to meet her for the first time. Several months later, Mr. Hildebrandt relocated to Florida, and they were engaged by December 2008. Unfortunately, this couple would not last. They were married in October 2009, but after 3 years of marriage, they filed for divorce due to irreconcilable differences. Mr. Hildebrandt said, "We gave it our best shot, but come from pretty different worlds. It seems it takes more in common than the same name to keep the love flourishing." Number 9, Amy Wolf and 1001 Knots. There are many loving couples in the world. This next one just shows a bit less reciprocation than most. When Amy Wolf was 13 years old, she fell in love with her current husband, an 80-foot gondola ride called 1001 Knots. It was love at first sight. Amy states that, "I was instantly attracted to him sexually and mentally." She says she wasn't freaked out as it just felt so natural. You see, Amy is an object sexual, meaning that she has a strong attraction, love, and emotional bond with inanimate objects. It may sound bizarre, but she is not the only one. 20 years after meeting the ride, 33-year-old Amy married him. She even changed her last name to Weber after the manufacturer of the ride. Mrs. Weber says that now they have a fulfilling physical and spiritual relationship. She has ridden 1001 Knots over 3,000 times in the past decade. She travels over 160 miles to Knoebels Amusement Resort 10 times per year to visit her love. Let's just hope that she can handle the inevitable ups and downs of this type of relationship. Number 8, JAYLA Cooper and Jose GRIGGS. Prepare yourself for this next story as it is both touching and sad. 9-year-old JAYLA Cooper was wed to her 7-year-old friend Jose GRIGGS in Dallas, Texas in 2009. However, the story is not quite what it would seem. JAYLA had been in a 2-year-long fight with leukemia, and it was likely she only had a few more weeks to live at the time. She had dreamed of one day being a bride and having a big, beautiful wedding. But given her aggressive illness, it was likely she wouldn't have time to fulfill this dream. So her parents began arrangements for the wedding she always dreamed of. She wore a lovely white dress and tiara as she walked down the aisle to marry her 7-year-old friend Jose GRIGGS. The two had met in the hospital while both being treated for leukemia and formed a very close friendship. The two families worked together to make the mock wedding happen for JAYLA. She and Jose vowed to be friends forever in this ceremony celebrating their life and friendship. They even exchanged rings, danced, and enjoyed a wedding cake. JAYLA passed away 2 months later in April 2009, but at least her dying wish was fulfilled. And while the ages of this couple may make many uncomfortable, it was truly a moving marriage. Number 7, PAULO Gabriel de Silva BARROS and KATYUCIA HOSHINO. These two of Itapeva, Brazil are the smallest married couple in the world. BARROS stands at just 35.54 inches tall, while HOSHINO is slightly taller at 35.88 inches for a combined height of 71.42 inches. That's just under 6 feet tall total. However, the relationship did not only blossom because of the similar statures. BARROS states that, "Basically, we're just a normal couple, but our height is a little smaller." In addition, love was not quite at first sight. They met on social media, and initially HOSHINO blocked him after finding his pickup lines annoying. However, she decided to unblock him 18 months later, and their relationship began. They were dating for 8 years before being wed on September 17, 2016. In regards to receiving the title of the world's smallest couple, they had this to say: "We are so happy to be a part of Guinness World Records Day and to have our unique record celebrated. We hope our new record will encourage the world to look past the physical differences in others and understand all people should be treated equally." Number 6, HAINING SWAN and Martin Van Buren Bates. Coming in at number 6 is quite the opposite of BARROS and HOSHINO, the tallest married couple in the world. Anna Swan was a Canadian woman born to Scottish immigrant parents of average height in 1846. However, she weighed over 18 pounds at birth and only got larger. By her 4th birthday, she was already 4 feet 6 inches tall. By adulthood, she was 7 feet 11 inches and over 350 pounds. Meanwhile, Martin was an average-sized baby born to average-sized Kentucky parents. However, by age 6 or 7, he hit a massive growth spurt. By age 12, he was over 6 feet tall and 300 pounds. He was a school teacher until 1861 when he joined the Confederate Army and rose to the rank of captain. Meanwhile, Anna was contacted by P.T. Barnum in 1862 and was hired to be put on exhibit at the American Museum on Broadway. Her outfit for her shows was custom-made and required over 100 yards of satin and 50 yards of lace to complete. She was so large that she nearly died from a fire at the American Museum because she was too large to escape through the window. The wall around the window had to be demolished to save her. This couple met while traveling on a boat to Europe and were married on June 17, 1871. They eventually settled in Seville, Ohio, where they had a home built with 14-foot-high ceilings and 8-foot-tall doorways. Anna would pass away from illness in 1888, and although Martin remarried, he made sure he was buried next to Anna when he passed away in 1919. Number 5. CHADIL, DEFFY, and Anne KAMSUK. This next couple brings new meaning to the saying, "Till death do us part." CHADIL DEFFY found the perfect girl in 2002 in the form of Anne KAMSUK. They met while both attending Thailand's Eastern Asia University and were together for 10 years when tragedy struck. Unfortunately, Anne passed away in a car accident in January 2012. However, that did not stop CHADIL DEFFY from marrying his beloved. Video of the event went viral on the internet, leaving many wondering and speculating the details of the ceremony, until DEFFY explained further. Originally, the couple wanted to marry, but DEFFY asked that it be postponed while he focused on getting his life in order. Feeling guilty and ashamed that he had wronged his love by postponing the wedding until it was too late, he decided to uphold his vow to marry her even in death. Thus, DEFFY married Anne KAMSUK at a combination funeral wedding held at a temple in the Surin province, Thailand. He had the event documented by a film crew and even had a novice monk attend the wedding to follow a Thai Buddhist tradition, ensuring a prosperous and loving marriage. Truly, love remains strong even in death, as demonstrated by DEFFY. Number 4. DRAVEN and Leah Benninghhoff. Love can transcend the dead, and even the undead in this next couple. DRAVEN and Leah Benninghhoff are vampires who first met on a dating website in February of 2016. They were both deeply involved in the gothic lifestyle and were looking for more intimate relationships when they found and fell in love with each other. One day, DRAVEN suggested they share each other's blood as a means of becoming closer, and Benninghhoff agreed to turn to the vampiric life. They both cut themselves and offered the other their blood straight from the wound. Benninghhoff, who was new to the experience at the time, stated that, "I felt the energy rushing through me. It was a magical experience, much more intimate than sex." The couple performed the blood exchange at 3 a.m., the witching hour, in order to properly turn her into a vampire. Now they drink each other's blood on a weekly basis. This may sound gross or even concerning, but no need to worry. As a precaution, they only drink each other's blood and have been tested for diseases. After 3 weeks of a romantic relationship, DRAVEN proposed and Benninghhoff said yes. They are not married as of yet, but are planning for a Halloween wedding. Of course. Supposedly, they have not yet revealed their vampirism to their families. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if they ever let their families know. Or maybe they'll see this video. Number 3. Sal 9000 marries NENE ANEGASAKI. This next couple coming in at number 3 on our list takes digital relationships to a whole new level. In 2009, a Japanese man who only identified himself to news stations as Sal 9000 married his girlfriend NENE ANEGASAKI. However, the dream woman wasn't necessarily a woman, but a character from the Nintendo DS game Love Plus, a dating simulator, making them the first human-to-digital avatar union. The relationship began as he started playing the game on his Nintendo DS. The game's premise is to develop and nurture dynamic relationships with dateable characters. Eventually, he began carrying his DS and thus NENE everywhere with him. He even took her on a trip to Disneyland and on a beach resort vacation in Guam. Although not a legally binding marriage, Sal felt it was his way of showing his love and devotion for the character. The ceremony was complete, with an MC, a DJ, and a priest, along with a slideshow showing off the couple's special moments together. He even live-streamed the wedding online. Sal 9000 states that he understands NENE is only a game character and that he cannot ever marry her legally, but he still loves her all the same. He simply does not feel the need to find a physical girlfriend because he has NENE. Number 2. BIMBALA Das and the Cobra. In Bhubaneswar, India, a woman by the name of BIMBALA Das fell in love with a snake. But not just any snake, a king cobra. The king cobra is the longest venomous snake in the world and is considered dangerous. However, in India, the cobra is praised as a religious symbol of Shiva, the god of destruction. Supposedly, Das was very ill at one point and began offering milk to the snake, who lived near an anthill by her village. The snake gladly drank the milk, and soon after she was cured of her sickness and fell in love with the snake. Das claims that the snake would come every time she offered it milk and had never attempted to harm her. So she believes it was a sign and decided to marry the cobra. She told news agencies that though snakes cannot speak nor understand, we communicate in a peculiar way. She decided to have a traditional Hindu wedding and had over 2,000 people attending to celebrate the matrimony. The villagers believed that the wedding would bring good fortune and thus prepared a large feast for the occasion. However, the king cobra did not show up, but a brass figure was used in his stead. She even moved to a home closer to the site where she first met and would repeatedly feed the snake. True love truly can come in many forms. Number 1. Liu Yi. The final couple on our list is less of a couple and more of an individual. In 2007, 39-year-old Liu Yi actually married himself. Yes, you heard that correctly. Liu Yi of Zhuhai City in China held a ceremony to marry himself. The wedding was on January 1st, 2007, and despite the odd circumstances, it was reported to be a very traditional Chinese wedding. Over 100 guests attended the event, complete with bridesmaids and groomsmen. Yi had a foam cutout of himself prepared especially for the ceremony, which featured an image of him wearing a red bridal dress. Liu Yi states that he is not gay but admits to being a bit narcissistic. You think? He explained further, "There are many reasons for marrying myself, but mainly to express my dissatisfaction with reality. The marriage makes me whole again. My definition of marriage is different from others. I guess the saying is true, you have to love yourself before you can love another." Have you ever been in a weird relationship? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to our channel. I'm Amber, and I'll see you next time on Peachy Planet. Bye!